How's it going, traders? It's the Pup of Wall Street back with another weekend review. Today we're going to look at my top sectors going into next week. If you enjoy my content, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel below. These two actions will help more people see my work. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when my videos come out. If you have any questions, leave them down, comment down below and let me know what you think about this video. And lastly, keep in mind this is not financial advice. I'm doing this for educational purposes only, so let's dig into the charts. First up, we are looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and for all these charts, we're going to be looking at it on a weekly time frame. You got a broadening formation, rejection. A number of weeks ago, we fell through that 30-week moving average and coming down to test the lows, in fact, making a new low of the year. So not new 52-week lows, but new lows for this year, and I think that's going to be the theme for the major indices. We hold under 296 and 275 will come next. Next up is SPY. And so this one did not make a new low. We bounced pretty much at the lows. I was targeting 375 about 2 months ago for that down draw, or the drawdown that we just had. And well, it obviously exceeded. And so really what I was watching for is this down draw here, or drawdown, this drawdown here. And it's looking like now this drawdown may come down to 350. So for the next 2 weeks, 350 is going to be my target to the downside. Now, I know there's probably some people looking at this video and be like, man, we're coming much lower. And you're right, we probably are. But for now, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, 350 will be the area that I am going to be watching. Here's the Qs. You know, pretty similar story. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. Once we break below these lows at around 270, 267, 270, 258 is going to be my target to the downside. That's going to be the 618 retrace. We're below the swing low on COVID low. We're below the 2018 low anchored VWAP. You could see MACD's about to cross under. RSI's got plenty of room to run. No squeezes. It all looks the same. More downside coming. Here's IWM. Small caps, they tend to run a little weaker, but pretty much similar right now. You know, we could see a bit of capitulation under 164. You know, 188, 187, 188, really tough level to break. The next time we come up to that level, that could be a really nice breakout, but we might not see that this year. So under 164, I would be targeting 152.47. That is going to be a 618 retrace from the COVID low to the all-time high. And that would be the area where I would expect a bit of a bounce, very similar to the Qs and to SPY. So those are the top 4 indices. Now let's look at some individual sectors. You know, again, very slim pickings this week. I found it very hard to look through some of these charts and find, you know, some ideal setups. But nonetheless, I mean, there is still some glimmers of hope. So we're anchoring volume to the COVID low and swing low. And looking at the swing high, you could see we are right in smack inside of the middle of a symmetrical wedge. You can see we're coiling pretty tight. And we can continue to coil for a number of weeks. But if we break above, you know, this volume zone here, this could have a nice push to the upside. But if we break below, you know, the wedge, I would be watching this zone right here around $16 to $17. We break below that, and I think we've got a lot of room to run to the downside. We just broke below 50 on RSI. MACD looks like it's just about to cross over. Although no squeezes, momentum looks like it might be shifting to the downside. So keep a close eye on clean energy. And again, these are some of the names that make up the ICLN ETF. Next up, very similar to ICLN, very similar makeup is TAN, but this one focuses solely on solar. And you could see we're still trading above our 30-week moving average. So, you know, again, I'm trying to really dig deep into these names to look for names that are holding up a bit. And so RSI is just at 50, TTM squeeze fired, but it looks like that's starting to dissipate. MACD looks like it might want to cross under. I would watch 72.22 this week. We break below that, 61.44 could come to the downside on TAN. Next up is XBI. These are your biotech names. Here are some of the names that you can watch, top holdings. This one looked like a pretty orderly sell-off, and maybe we're starting a new 1-2, move to the upside. Potential wave 3 would come over 95.48, in which I would target this supply zone up above. But if we lose 73.70, then it's very likely we'll backtest 64.43. Again, holding under 50 RSI, MACD starting to curl. But XBI, again, it's been acting nice, but the last couple of weeks, like the rest of the market, selling off. XLU, this is the utilities ETF. You could see 71.40 acted as resistance. We broke out, we backtested, we bounced, ultimately failed. Came back, started this new trend line, nice move up, ultimately failed. Came back, tested the 30-week moving average and failed there, but came back to 71.40 and bounced. So that's important because that's an area that acted as resistance. Now the question is, has resistance turned into support? We're right at 50 on RSI. MACD looks like it wants to cross under, no squeezes, but keep an eye on some of these names. On utilities, watch for a potential bounce in the next 2 weeks. And the last sector to watch are metals. These are metals and miners. Some of the names you can look at. Again, not great, right? Making a lower high here. So you made a high, lower high, lower high. The question is, do we make another lower low? I think under 38.30, that's the area I would watch for a bigger sell-off, right? We're holding under 50 RSI here for a number of weeks now. MACD looks crossed under and weak, but this area, 38.30, right? Support, and then right above it, support. Watch for a potential bounce here, right? It's acted as support in the past. We can assume that it can act as support again. However, like we were talking about the AMD chart in the other video, the more times you test support, the more likely that support is going to break. So this could also be a good short. So under 38.30, I would look for XME to the downside. All right, those are the top sectors that I'm going to be watching for next week. I think we might need another week or two for this volatility to calm down, for the market to shake out the weak hands before we can see a potential bigger bounce. So just be patient. Focus on risk management, and remember that sometimes cash is the best position. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope to see you in the markets next week. Good luck, everyone. Take care. Have a good one.